摘口罩嘛。
对呀，摘口罩了，也什么都看不到。Enjoy your trip to Flowerpot Island. I'm Craig. Ferry will be your first mate. And we have Brendan as first deckhand. Enjoy. Feel free to move around the boat.
Thank you. Do that.
If you have any questions, feel free. be repaired. They deemed her irreparable, took everything off her of value, including the mast, and she sank. She was used mainly to haul coal up and down the Great Lakes. Once we get over it, Captain will do 360s. That'll calm the water and give you a really good view. Out the windows, out the back. I recommend up on the upper deck. That's where I find it looks the best. You'll see some good viewings through the glass. But I recommend trying them all. Once we get there, on the north shore, it's going to be the city of Grand Rapids. This was a steamship. It was a passenger and cargo ferry. She was built in Grand Haven, Michigan, 1896. In 1907, she caught fire in Little Tub Harbour, where the stores and everything are. To protect the rest of the town, they towed her out into open water. Unfortunately, when they cut her loose, they had a heavy northeast wind that day, blew her here into the tub, and she burned to the water line and sank. Not a heck of a lot left of her. The sweepstakes is gorgeous.
Actually, the bottom. He's gonna do a 360.
Could be.
There it is.
Oh, wow. Look at the deck.
You see it, John? You see it, John? So close, eh?
Yeah, I told you it wasn't going to be hard. It ain't deep. That's why these things have no rocks. They got gentle. Wow, it's tricky. Look at that. I didn't think it'd be back.
Yeah.
The water's really low. It sticks out of the water.
They got a wooden boat here. They had a metal boat down there. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I'm sorry.
If you look very closely inside the sweepstakes, you might notice some steel caging. This was installed by Parks Canada to prevent scuba divers from going directly inside, because it was found that the bubbles coming out of their respirators were actually heating up the day of the wood. We'll be able to get a good look at our second shipwreck.
Let's go.
That shipwreck is known as the City of Grand Rapids, and it was a double-decker steam-powered vessel built in 1879 in Grand Haven, Michigan. It was 126 between Manitoulin Island and the Bruce Peninsula. In 1907, it was docked in Tub Harbour and mysteriously caught on fire. So for the safety of Tobermory and surrounding vessels, they towed it into open water, and now as we spin, you'll get a good view of the city of Grand Rapids.
Okay, the waters in the majority of nearby islands here are all part of Fathom 5 National Marine Park. Canada's first national marine park, established in 1987, and is one of 4 in Canada. The park preserves Tobermory's rich cultural history, including 20 islands, 22 known shipwrecks, dating back to the 1800s, 3 lighthouses, and some of the most pristine water in Great Lake. Fathom 5 National Marine Park is the gateway to local historical shipwrecks, with Tobermory earning its reputation as the shipwreck capital of Canada. The reason behind the mass amount of shipwrecks, of course, is the amount of islands and shoals surrounding them, and the lack of navigational technology back in the day. The theme of the Fathom 5 National Marine Park is Legacy of the Sweetwater Sea. Just a good reference to comments made by Samuel G. Champlain in his description of Georgian Bay as he compared it to his native Brittany in France. He described the peninsula as being surrounded by a sea of sweet water, and hence Fathom 5 became known as the Legacy of the Sweetwater Sea. The depth of water that we are on today is about 100 feet, and at Driftwood Cove, 580 feet, the deepest point in Georgian Bay. Niagara Escarpment Cliffs, as you may know them, continue underwater and resurface as Fathom 5's 20 islands, including Flowerpot Island, with its world-famous sea stacks. The deep open water, the shallow coastal wetlands, and remote islands of Fathom 5 provide diverse habitat for many species, several at risk. Fathom 5 is part of a dark sky preserve. That's some of the darkest skies in North America, which is critical to local ecology and culture. If you look at the small island off to our left, this is Echo Island. Echo Island has many caves on it. Back in the 1800s, the early 1900s, ships would send out a foghorn signal or use their alarm bell, and the length of time it took for that echolocation system they used to come back to the ship would tell them where they were in relation to Echo Island, and hence being in Tobermory itself. We're now coming up on Flowerpot Island. This is the only island in Fathom 5 National Marine Park where you can disembark and hike its trails. The remaining islands are all part of a protective preserve under the UNESCO World Biosphere. In an effort to preserve the natural state of Flowerpot Island, Parks Canada has recently restricted the number of guests allowed on the island per day. Additionally, they have made an increased focus on reducing the impact of tour operators for sustainable practices on the island. Flowerpot Island has an area of 500 acres, home to 4 kilometers of well-groomed trails, and has 6 backcountry campsites. This means no electricity, no running water, absolutely no fires on this island. Wildlife on this island: squirrel, rabbit, spider, otter, and if you keep your eyes open, we have seen bald eagle here in the last few days, and golden eagle. If you look ahead of us on the right, you're going to see the Flowerpot Island Light Station. The original wooden lighthouse was built in 1896. It was 90 feet above the water on Castle Bluff. Donald Smith was the first lighthouse keeper who was paid $300 a season. In 1968, the original wooden lighthouse was deemed not necessary. They burned it, pushed it off the cliff. The steel tower and the light that's in its place is what you see today. I know they weren't as conscious about fire on the island as we are now. As we come up on the beach, you're going to see 3 buildings, red and white, can't miss them. The middle building would have been the lightkeeper's home. He and his family would have stayed on the island from April till December, making sure the light stayed lit. The lighthouse keeper's assistant would have lived in the house on the right, which is today the museum, by the way. And the small building on the left would have been the boathouse workshop. The lightkeeper was removed from the island in 1987. Everything became fully automated. The buildings fell into disrepair over the years. In 1996, a volunteer group, the Friends of Fathom 5, came to the island, rejuvenated the buildings to their former glory, as you see them today. And they still maintain these buildings and help to guide people as to the historic significance and culture of the island. If you look up on the cliff faces, you will see large cave openings, more prevalent on the point. There were 210 caves on Flowerpot Island. This is the result of 12,000 years ago. The glacial Lake Algonquin completely covered this island in water. As it receded, pausing occasionally, it eroded at the cliff face, causing the 210 caves that you're going to see on the island today. Some of these caves are rather deep. Okay, we're just coming up on the large flower pot. This is actually called a sea stack. This is a result of tens of thousands of years of erosion on the limestone. Limestone eroded away, leaving behind it a hard dolomite core as a sea stack or flower pot. As we come around the flower pot, have a look up in the top right hand corner. You will see the profile of a man's face, eyes, nose, chin. This is what we like to call the old man of Flowerpot Island.
We're going to come around and look back. As we come around and look back,
if you look as we pass, you're going to see the smaller flower pot. The two look like the cliff face adjacent to it look like the two were part of a puzzle piece. This is actually the result of what they think was a cave entrance at one time, and in over decades, or thousands of years probably, of erosion, the ceiling caved in, leaving the flower pot and the adjacent cliff face looking like they were part of one at one time. Okay, if I can have your attention. For those departing, you are now entering a National Park of Canada. Please ensure that what you take off the vessel now comes back on the vessel later. Don't leave anything behind. This means cigarette butts, banana peels, diapers, water bottles. We can get rid of it. We would really like you to bring it back with you. Disturbing or collecting any plants, animals, rocks, shells, or artifacts in the park is illegal. Do not carve or write on the rocks or the trees. Remember to stay on the trail to minimize impact and avoid contact with poison ivy. You don't want that. For drop-off passengers, we ask that you return to the dock no later than 10 minutes before boarding, as we operate on a strict schedule. If you miss your return vessel, you may have to wait until the end of the day, as you are not guaranteed a spot on our next return trip. If you are a stay-aboard passenger, we ask that you remain seated for this process. If all passengers could please now, at this moment, take a seat, remain seated until we are at the dock. We will tell you when we are safe and secure, and you can depart. On behalf of myself and the crew of Bruce Anchor Cruises, thanks for sailing with us. Enjoy your trip on Flowerpot Island.
remind you of the safety features of the vessel. Life jackets are located underneath your seat. For children 90 pounds and under, they're on the lower deck at the bow of the vessel. We have 5 emergency exits on board, one at the bow, one on either side where you enter, and 2 at the stern. And we have 3 emergency life rafts on board, all of which are on the upper deck. One is on either side of the wheelhouse and one's at the stern. Enjoy your trip back to Tobermory. To remain seated until the vessel is fully secure. A member of the crew will let you know when it's safe to stand up and disembark. Thank you for sailing with us on our Bruce Anchor Cruises, and welcome back to Tobermory.
Thanks, you too.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Bye.